All right, guys, welcome back to another video on MMA.Unhinged. Today we are joined by pro MMA welterweight Andreeas Binder. How's it going?
How are you doing, buddy? I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining the show. It's an absolute pleasure. I've been watching your career so far, and I've got to say, there's a few guys that I'm really looking forward to see where it goes in the future, and you're definitely one of them up there.
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's by the looks of things, everything is going in a good direction. Anyway, with the right team, everything is going in the right direction.
Yeah, I've got to say you're in safe hands over there with Owen Roddy. I'm sure he will lead you to success.
Oh yeah, 100%. Not just Owen, but like just the people surrounding me right now. Everyone's just pushing each other in the gym, and I'm in good hands with even with the sparring partner. So everything is in good hands.
100%. So we'll start off with your fight on February 5th against Raimundas. I was going to try and pronounce his second name, but I think I'll leave that. I'm not very good with pronunciations, but you're facing Raimundas February 5th. And I was looking at him, I was looking at how he fights, and looking at your record and etc. And I feel like this is probably the toughest test that you've faced in your career so far. And you've mentioned in interviews but before this that you're very similar. You have the same sort of style, and whoever implements their style first wins the fight. So how do you implement your style first to make sure you get your hand raised on February
5th? Look, I looked at him. I looked at his recent fights, his last two fights. But yet again, like, you know, people change, their fight game change and everything. So he's very similar style in ways of he's a judo black belt like myself. His striking is not bad, but I believe my striking will be very crisp coming into this fight. So I'm just gonna follow the game plan. Go in there, put a statement. So it's literally who wants it more. He is a tough challenge. I know that, but every single fight from now on, well, starting from my last fight against Janderson, it's going to be a step up every single fight. And I'm going to improve in every single fight. And I'm going to show everyone that what I can actually do. Because each camp I'm getting better and better.
Yeah, that was pretty much a fantastic segue to my next question. And I was mentioning, as I said in my last question, I thought Raimundas is the toughest test that you've got in your career so far. So when you're moving up in the ladder and you're fighting these tougher opponents, does the mentality stay the same when you're fighting these tougher opponents?
My mentality stays the same, really. Do you know what I mean? I'm so focused and determined to reach my goal where I need to be right now. Like my goal, my end goal, and I'm pretty sure every single pro MMA fight right now, the UFC is the main goal. That's my goal personally. And each fight as I go, I'm gonna, like, in camp, in training, everything is so professionally run. Whether it's my diet, whether it's my training camp, I'm very disciplined in everything, and I want to get my hands raised. And I know he's going to be a tough challenge, but I can't wait. I can't wait to show exactly what I can bring to the table, and especially the way it's a big international show as well. I can expose my brand a bit more, not just Ireland and UK.
Well, that's it. You mentioned there it was a good international fight. Superior Challenge 23 over there in Sweden. I'm sure you're looking forward to that. But was it the smart step up for you in your career now?
Yeah, it was very tough to try and get a fight in Ireland and UK. Because obviously I want to fight good people, and I want to like I said, each fight I want to improve. I want to show the new skills I developed, show the new improvements in my game. And yeah, we tried getting a fight on Cage Legacy to try and win that last belt in Ireland. That way I had every single belt in amateur and pro in Ireland on big promotions. And it was just very tough to try and get a fight. It was very tough. Like, we had numerous of pullouts and declined fights. So we were like, you know what, maybe it's the next step to try and go international. And I want to, like, what a way to make a statement in the international scene.
You know what? It kind of doesn't shock me that there's not a lot of people ringing your manager's phone to try and fight you, because who would really want to fight you? You're in for 15 minutes of hell or 25 minutes for hell. It's crazy.
Yeah, look, the thing is, like, many people kind of looked at me, oh, he's just a grappler. He's just a grappler. But then they seen I can strike too. I can take a bang to. And they're like, okay, he's a tough cookie. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not just, oh, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to bounce you on your head. I'm just a grappler. Do you know what I mean? I showed every single aspect. I think I got a bit carried away in my last fight with the striking because, he's a renowned striker in Ireland and UK, very dangerous. He can literally knock you out with a blink of an eye. But I just wanted to show that I can strike too. Do you know what I mean? So I just kind of let that fight get a bit to my head. But no, I'm ready for this. Like whether it's grappling, whether it's striking, whether every exchange, I'm gonna win every exchange, regardless what it is.
So moving back to February 5th against Raimundas, you've got 3 TKOs and 1 submission in your professional career so far. So are you looking for another finish on February 5th to make another statement?
Oh, 100%. It's definitely going to be another finish. Whether it's going to be a knockout or a submission, every fight that I go, I look for a finish because I don't want to be a boring fighter. I don't want to be a decision fighter. I want to finish every single fight, whatever it takes.
So we'll move back to your last fight as well. You touched up there that people wanted to see that you could take a good smack and give one back. So did after now you look back at that fight, does that kind of prove to yourself that I can take a good one and I can give it back?
Oh yeah, no, like I said, every single fight I wanted to step up, and I think Jamison to date between my amateur career and my pro career was the toughest fight that I've had. And I'm not gonna lie, my jaw was killing me for about a week. I got, do you know what I mean? It was just like weird spinning elbows and everything. But look, I kind of copped onto it, and I saw it coming into the second and third round, because it was very different stylistically fight. So I had to adapt. Do you know what I mean? Like I couldn't really implement my game for the first round because of, okay, his striking was so different to other strikers that I fought. Do you know what I mean? But no, I'm confident in my striking. I'm very confident. And like I have Owen. Do you know what I mean? Owen is one of the best striking coaches in the world. Do you know? So I must be doing something wrong if I can't strike. Do you know?
100%, I agree with you. And I've got to say, you're making a lot of noise, as I mentioned at the start of the interview. I feel like you're making a lot of noise over there in the Irish MMA scene. As you mentioned, you got the Clan Wars belt, and then you got the I can't think it off the top of my head.
Conflict.
There you go, Cage Conflict, and you were looking for that Cage Legacy, but as you meant, you couldn't get that fight over in Ireland. I just feel like there wasn't a lot of people there left in Ireland for you to fight, and that's why you took the over international fight. So my question is, does the attention that you're going to receive now and in the future, do you thrive? Would you thrive under that pressure?
I really don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like this pressure, it brings the best out of me, should I say. It's under this pressure, I can perform better. And especially now, because I'm going to Sweden, I'm finding like this lad, Raimundas, like he fought on Superior Challenge, I believe twice. So obviously he has a good crowd there as well. But I love fighting under pressure. I love being the underdog because I can perform so much more, and I can actually show what I can do. You know, so it's not really new to me. Like I'm so calm. I'm cool, calm, collected. Like, I'm just gonna go in there and perform.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of fits with the Irish fighters. I don't know what it is that they all can talk well. They all can promote a fight really well. So I feel like you've got a good future in your hands here.
Yeah, look, that's my goal. Like I want to bring Galway on the map. Galway, this is where I grew up. Like many people don't know, but obviously I'm originally from Romania, but I lived here for almost 17, 18 years now. And I can truly say I'm Irish. Do you know what I mean? You see the exposure people get if you're from Dublin, if you're from Northern Ireland, like Belfast. You know, you're getting that exposure. But in Galway, there's West of Ireland in general, like there isn't many pro fighters that can bring it. So I want to kind of bring that kind of exposure wise back to Galway and show, look, Ireland in general are providing fantastic fighters, whether it's boxing, MMA, you name it. We're a small island of fighters. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. As you mentioned there, you're a small island of fighters, but you have world-class athletes. So many of them as well. And there was one that, really brought, the hype and made Ireland Irish MMA is what it is today. And that's Conor McGregor. I want to ask you about what did he do for the Irish MMA scene?
Oh, man, he absolutely blew up the scene, not just MMA-wise, but even business-wise. Like, do you know what I mean? He's, grown up. I never thought I'd be all into the MMA. I started off as a judo career and into K1 kickboxing. And I was like, I remember I saw Conor first when he fought against, who was it?
Marcus Bribbage?
No, I didn't watch that. I've heard of him and all that, but I was never really into the MMA and like the UFC and all that. And then when he fought Dennis Siver, I was like, do you know what? I want to be like that today. I was only young as well, so I was like, I want to do that. And that just kind of like, I don't know. I was kind of like getting bored of the judo scene. I was getting bored of the K1 scene. I was like, you know what? Let's try and mix it up. It kind of built up that fire again, that fire burning in my stomach. And I was like, I want to do it. And but the way he provided a platform, not just for the young pros starting off, but like the amateur scene. And do you know what I mean? Like I looked up to him growing up. So yeah, I'm excited now. I'm excited to kind of carry on that Irish legacy, should I say, like of implementing my game, but everyone has a different style,
Yeah, that's it. 100%. I feel like if you're a major organization in mixed martial arts right now, I feel like your goal is probably to get an Irish superstar because it generates money. They know how to talk, as I mentioned. They know how to promote a fight, and it just brings in that. And I've got to say, the Irish MMA crowd is probably the best we have in MMA. It's ridiculous.
100%, man. They're absolutely mental. Like especially when you come out with a lovely song that just, I don't know, like a walkout song that just buzzes.
Zombie, Peter Quilly. That's all you have to say.
Zombie, you just can't beat it, man. You can't beat it. Like, it's
I absolutely love it. And so we'll go back to your when Conor McGregor, opened up that pathway, burned that little fire in your belly. You went on to becoming an amateur. What was it like learning and growing up as an MMA athlete through the amateurs?
I think the more fights I got under the belt, the amateur man, it just kind of developed my game. Because I was very, very active as an amateur. I was, I don't know, I think I was 10-5 in amateur MMA and I was 7-1 in K1. So I was very, very active in the circuit, like winning, I think it was 5 or 6 titles on the amateur scene between Ireland and the UK. Some very, very good fights. And my 5 losses were all decision, like in the amateur scene. So it just kind of developed every single game and every single aspect in my game on what to improve or what to get better in. So I just kind of took my time trying to fight the best guys out there. And I fought some very, very good guys. I bet some good guys. I lost to some good guys, but they're all big, massive promotions, And I just wanted to stay as active as I could, really. I didn't want to rush into the pro scene and then, do you know what I mean? And then I wouldn't be ready. But I'm ready. Like I'm on a 4 or 5 win streak. I'm all finishes. So I feel very confident in the pro game now. But I'm still learning and I'm still evolving, but I'm learning.
So how did you know when you were ready to move on from amateur to pro? And what has been the massive differences you've noticed since moving?
I think it was more discipline in the diets, really, like because at amateur I was kind of like testing out different weights. I fought a middleweight, I fought a super welterweight that was 79 kilos. I fought a welterweight as well. So I just wanted to find my natural weight, what I feel comfortable at fighting at. And I fought a middleweight, and it was day before weigh-ins, but I was always around 86, 87 kilos, and trying to cut down to 84 was literally just flush out water. It was easy cuts. And I think it was just kind of finding that rhythm and how I feel and how do I perform at certain weights, but it showed in every single one of my fights. I'm strong in the cage at welterweight. I'm fit. I can perform and I'm durable. Do you know what I mean? So I think welterweight is my weight. Yet again, I can always drop down to lightweight. I've never done it, but I think I can make lightweight if, you know, through a prolonged camp, maybe like a 6-7 month camp.
100%. Why when we're talking while we're talking on the topic of your amateur career, I presume you probably thought this question was going to come out, and there was one win in your amateur career that, you know, really stands out, and I can see that smile on your face. You know it's coming. That split decision over Ian Gary, and since that he's made waves inside the UFC. He's blown up. So when you look at a former foe and a former person that you've beaten, you're the only ever person to beat him in his mixed martial arts career. Does that give you a little bit of confidence when you're moving forward?
Oh, 100%. Like, look, I'm opponents, but he still lost to me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm actually happy for him that he's performing so well and he's doing so good for himself, especially. And I hope he does the best in the UFC. But my time will come. My time will come. Do you know what I mean? He's evolving every day. I'm evolving every day, and seeing him up there, and the better he does, the better I do, because I push myself even harder and even more. I'll be like, I want to be there too. Do you know what I mean? And I will get there. I'm not one bit where I will get there, and I'll let my actions do the talking. Do you know what I mean? I'll perform in every single fight, and people will call him then. And we'll see. Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, it's fantastic because if you do eventually meet again, it's got a great backstory to it, and it'd just be fantastic when you're eventually in the UFC. He's in the UFC. I just feel like that would be a fantastic fight, and I feel like it would be a big one for the Irish MMA fans.
Oh, it's going to be huge. I think it'll be another like Joe Duffy and Conor McGregor fight. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just going to be massive. Like, two Irish lads headlining a show. You know, it's massive. But look, we're both on different paths. But I'm pretty sure we'll definitely meet again.
100%. I would love to see it in the future, but as you mentioned there, you're on different paths. You've got some time now to really experience it and develop your game until you get there. And I have no doubts that you're going to get to the UFC at one point, 100%. But moving on to my last few questions, is that I was looking at your Instagram, and I saw you wearing an Arsenal shirt, and they're currently playing. Why would you have to choose Arsenal?
Believe it or not, man, I get this abuse every single time. Look, I grew up supporting Arsenal because they give young players chances. Do you know what I mean? That's what attracted me to that club. And I just love football. Like, apart from MMA, I literally put my feet up after a training session or whatever and just look at replays or highlights. But Arsenal, I don't know, it's just the style of football they play, the way they give young players chances. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's nice to watch their football. You know, it was obviously disheartening the last couple of seasons watching them play, but I can see step up now, especially this season.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. I'm not too sure what the score is currently right now with Nottingham Forest, but last time I checked, you were 0-0. I hope all goes well for you, though. I'd love to see you lose, but I hope it comes through for you.
Yeah, I hope so too. We can't be losing to Nottingham now.
Yeah, well, it's been an absolute pleasure for you joining on the show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm looking so forward to see you fight on February 5th at Superior Challenge 23. Make sure you tune in because Andreeas Binder is going to be one to watch in a few years. He's an absolutely fantastic fighter. Make sure you tune into his career because he's going to be making waves overseas in international waters, 100%. So thank you so much, Andreas. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I wish you the best luck in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And look, I'll let my fight do the talking, and stay tuned, guys. There'll be big fights lined up. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for coming.